Hello, I'm Anna Gomez. Men's and women's basketball have one of the most productive winter breaks since I've been at LaSalle, and I'm mildly old.
And I'm Jacob Smolinski. Men's swimming and diving are snapping right now with 2 consecutive blowout wins. I'm looking at you, Fabian Bergman. You're watching LaSalle TV's home for Explorer Athletics, SportsLine.
Welcome to SportsLine. We had one heck of a winter break for LaSalle sports, from some former LaSalle athletes reaching legend status, men's tennis finally recording a dub, and streaks galore on both men's and women's basketball. It is good to be back.
And later, we're going to hit you with a recap of all the basketball action. No, seriously, all the action. There were some serious ups, downs, and some quality viral content in the form of a SportsCenter Top 10 nominee.
But first, let's take a look at what went down. Oh, no. Let's take a look at our new segment, the SportsLine Top 3. Roll the bumper.
Ooh, look, that's a very nice animation right there.
Top 3 headlines for LaSalle. The #1 headline this week is 2 of the greatest explorers of all time join the A10 Legends class. Now, we talked Cheryl Reeve early in the season when we reported that she helped the U.S. take gold as an assistant coach for the U.S. Olympic team in 2016. But now she has earned a spot in the Atlantic 10 Legends class. This honor is awarded to athletes and coaches that represent the best that the program and the sport has to offer. Reeve is a 1988 graduate of LaSalle who is now the head coach for the Minnesota Lynx, leading her team to 3 WNBA titles in 5 years.
And also being honored with an Atlantic 10 Legends class distinction is the late Ken Durrett. In his 3 seasons at LaSalle, Durrett became a household name, posting an average of 23 points per game and earned Big 5 Player of the Year in 1970 and 71. Durrett was the 4th overall pick in the 1971 NBA draft, where he continued his professional career for 4 years.
Wow, that's pretty good. On a bright note for #2, LaSalle is now the 9th university to join the Athletes Helping Athletes program. This organization helps connect local special athletes with college teams and gives them the chance to inspire each other through friendship. Athletes Helping Athletes partners with LaSallian values in a beautiful way, and so far, it has been nothing but smiles. Both the men's and women's team appointed honorary captains and not only brought them behind the scenes, but they also got to take part in pre-game rituals, hang out on the bench during the game, and be a part of the team. SportsLine is extremely proud that LaSalle Athletics has started such a tight relationship with Athletes Helping Athletes.
And for #3, women's basketball has a very under-talked about player who is finally getting her dues. Garden forward Amy Griffin was named A10 and Big 5 Player of the Week for her insane performance in double A10 wins on the road at Richmond and Davidson. And she not only averaged 24 points, but also hit 9 rebounds, 4 blocks, and on the road, she is unstoppable. Griffin also won these same awards back in December, which is a testament to her consistency. Finally, Griffin is leading the entire A10 conference in scoring average. With her leading our team, LaSalle women's basketball is getting back on the map. And speaking of women's basketball, that does it for the SportsLine Top 3. Time to get into the recaps from over winter break. Women's basketball posted huge numbers over break, but we'll get into the nitty-gritty in a few. But on Wednesday against UMass, early on in the match, LaSalle fell 15 points behind the Minutemen. Adriana Miller posted 9 points in the first half that helped to keep the Explorers afloat. Sliding into the second, LaSalle was facing a deficit of 15 points, and thanks to some strategic 3-pointers from Micaiah Owens and Anemone Shield, Jasmine Alston inched the Explorers a lead off of a foul shot with 5 seconds left. And then Griffin steals the ball off a UMass pass, shoots for 3, and well, take a look. We gotta just check this one out.
The inbounds. They have her trapped in the corner, and that's stolen by Griffin, who takes a 3-pointer and nails it just for good measure. A buzzer beater to make it.
I'm blown away. What the heck? That was at like noon on Wednesday. Crazy. Whew.
Absolutely crazy. Well, the men actually did not have the same luck as the women for a comeback on Wednesday, as they played Big 5 team UPenn in their last non-conference game of the season. Let's roll the footage. So this was going to be a tough game overall. Offensively, we just struggled so hard. UPenn was really hard on our defense. Jordan Price was just 3-on-3 the entire game. You're going to see this three-man defense just on them constantly. And BJ Johnson coming in for the second half. He actually cut the deficit from 13 points to 8 points in 30 seconds. We stayed within 10 points the entire half. And then in less than 30 seconds left, Jordan Price comes in. He knocks this three-pointer back. We get to the score of 74-75. Unfortunately, a foul shot cost us within 2 seconds of the game. And even after a dismal first half and a thrilling second half comeback attempt, it just was not in the cards for the Explorers. They dropped Penn 77-74.
And men's swimming and diving took 2 wins against George Mason and Fordham, and basically demolishing both. At Mason, right out of the gate, the 200 melee relay team of Fabian Bergman, Marcus Florisgren, Cameron Fadley, and Sam Otala finished seconds ahead of Mason's first team. Alexander's Nikolic, Bergman, Jerry Gravel, and Otala, and Dmitry Mladenovic, and Matthias Glenesk. That is a lot of Eastern European names. They all finished first in their events, including Glenesk's 1,000 free, where he finished over 5 seconds in front of Mason. At a dual meet against Fordham and Richmond on Saturday, the relays again showed of things to come when LaSalle won the 200 and 400 relays. Glenesk finished his 1,000 free, not 5, but 10 seconds ahead of his competitors, and Jakub Bartoszewicz showed his domination. You can see right here as he just went straight for the butterfly, taking the 200 and 100 fly, while Bergman took the 100 and 200 backstroke with ease. And then for that performance, Bergman earned himself the A10 Top Performer of the Week honors. But wait a second, is this Jake's favorite diving stills? Oh, this looks kind of pleasant. I don't know. Wait, what's that? Oh, wait. Wow, that's real nice. Oh, wait, he's upside down. Oh, come on. Wait, she's sideways. And, whoa, I don't know what's going on with that one. Okay, yeah.
All right, thanks, Jake. For the women, Mason was much more of a contest for swimming. Hannah Elliott placed first in the 200 and 500 free events, well ahead of her competitors. Colin Kessinger and Olivia DiStefano both clinched in their 200 IM and 100 backstroke events to take first. In diving, the women dominated the board with Cindy Zoppo taking first in the 1 meter and second in the 3 meter. Teammate Dominique D'Arienzo scored her first place win in the 3 meter. LaSalle dropped their tri-meet against Fordham and Richmond. The women took third place in both 200 and 400 meter relays at the helm of Kessinger, DiStefano, Eva Osterhaus, and Kate Hay. Hannah Elliott fought for the second place finish in the 500 free, and Emily Walbert took second in the 200 fly.
And then men's and women's track were on the road to compete at the Gotham Cup in New York City. And top finishers for LaSalle included senior Andrew Gorsuch, who finished the 1,000 meter in just over 2.5 minutes. Good for a top 10 finish. And other notable performances for the Explorers include junior Dylan Titan, who finished the 3,000 meter in 8 minutes and 42 seconds. And Titan crossed the finish line in 9th place in a field of 51 runners. Senior Chris Berry finished close behind in 11th place with a time of 8 minutes and 45 seconds.
On the women's side, junior Morgan Zeckley had the top 10 finish for LaSalle with an impressive 6th place finish in the 1,000 meter. Zeckley crossed the finish line in just under 3 minutes and would be the top finisher for the Explorers on the day. Freshman Grace Mancini finished behind Zeckley in 11th while clocking in with a time of 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Finally, junior Amber Jenkins finished the 400 meter with a time of 59.7 seconds to take 20th place in a field of 87 runners.
Dang, and that takes us to our first break. But when we come back, we will walk you through a month's worth of prime time LaSalle basketball, so stick around.
It's learning how to code or make video games and websites.
Not only can you post videos online, you can make your own.
It's learning about leadership.
Welcome back. We are now at that breakdown that you've all been waiting for, and thanks to Go Explorers TV, who is killing it right now with their live streams and Twitter feeds, we cut together highlight reels to fill you in on some of the wild play that happened while we were stuck back home playing board games with our parents over break. So first, SportsLine assistant producer Helen Stas brings you women's basketball's ascent to powerhouse status that began in December.
During last season's Scholastic winter break, women's basketball lost 7 out of 9 games, which ended up setting the tone for the rest of their season. The Explorers would not win another game until February and were ranked at the bottom of the A10. This break was different. The team built momentum, winning every game in December, and solidified their place as a top contending A10 team. Not only that, but they had 3 A10 wins. Compared to last year, we only had 2 conference wins all season. Right now we have a team that compete, and it all goes back to the players. Amy Griffin, junior guard and forward, led the Explorers, averaging 20.2 points per game. But she's not only leading the Explorers, she's currently leading the entire A10 conference in scoring by a full point. Griffin was essential for the Explorers in a 64-59 win over UKMC, with 27 points in the game. She leads our offense by spending every moment on the court looking for the next opportunity. But without Jasmine Alston, Amy Griffin wouldn't have the same chances to score. The senior guard has proven to be the defensive backbone LaSalle has needed. Every playoff-ready team needs someone to hold everything together, and Alston is the unsung hero not only of the team, but of the A10 conference. She's third in the A10 in rebounds, but is also second in assists, and is tied for first in steals. That is how you win games. The young blood is Adriana Miller. Only a sophomore, but performing like a top-tier player, Miller has been a consistent scorer for LaSalle, averaging 10.5 points per game. But she isn't limited to that role. In a last-second buzzer-beating loss against Harvard, she put up 27 points, tying Griffin's best performance. Finally, she knows how to capitalize on fouls. She has the second highest free throw percentage in the A10 with .896. She's all about the fundamentals. Overall, the Explorers are a completely different team from last year. They play with a level of cohesiveness that was missing in previous years. Their play over winter break is showing that they are making major changes. It's important to note that LaSalle is in every game at the midpoint of the season, even games they lose. That fighting spirit will help as they delve further into A10 play. They're sitting in 5th right now, but who knows? They could be perched at the top by the time playoffs roll around.
Yes. LaSalle women's basketball just has me so amped up right now.
It's hype. It's hype.
Seriously. But first, and what is it like, I guess, when you're kind of seeing these LaSalle, like women's basketball athletes stacked across the top of the entire A10? What is that like?
Considering we had the losingest season in LaSalle women's basketball history last year, it's crazy to think that that's actually happening for us and that we're making these plays, we're making these wins. We have a stack group of starters that are just continuing to perform. They're being really versatile.
And the thing that's crazy, it's not even about transfers. It just finally feels like they're actually meshing for the first time, which I think is an absolutely, really just a beautiful thing to get to see. And I know people are right now, they're talking right now. It's
yeah.
Especially and with a win over UMass, which is, a 3-5 team going in. Last year, that's going to be a complete struggle game. And even though it kind of, it was a last second buzzer beater, it's we're sitting well above the average of the conference right now. And just the fact that, we're killing it. But the thing is, this is a very, very different era than the previous era, which I would consider the Alicia Cropper and Indigo Dickens, those players. But now we have this sort of triple threat with
Griffin, Austin, and Miller, you say?
Yes, Adriana Miller, totally sophomore, bringing up the back of the ranks.
I agree. Miller is a powerhouse. I'm really excited to see where she goes. As Helen kind of talked about, this is a completely unrecognizable team.
Yes.
You can't imagine even having been competing with UMass last year.
Exactly. And it's the thing is, we won 5 games out of our entire schedule last year, and we won 5 games just in December alone. On top of that, 3 A10 wins in that. Like, that's absolutely wild. And yeah, and Helen did an amazing job at kind of compiling all those stats. And the thing that does have me a little bit scared though, is the schedule coming up. Because this is where LaSalle starts to really get a bit dicey, and no matter what team we have. But the thing is, we beat Dayton in our first matchup, which is the #1 team in the A10 right now, and that was almost like a shock to the system for the Dayton squad. But then we have a couple of sleeper teams coming up, George Mason, something else. But then the big one is George Washington, and these guys appear to be pretty invincible right now. And this is going to be the true test. When we reach that pivotal moment, when we take George Washington, I'm very, very nervous about that.
George Washington is #2 right now. We beat Dayton previously.
Yep.
But we're hitting George Washington now. They're going to be the big competitor that we're gonna really have to make some plays against.
Exactly. And the thing is, it's like, are we going to actually be able to beat a team that shows no signs of slowing down right now? They lost early on as well. They do not look like they're going anywhere. So
no. And you know what? I'm really excited to see, because this is just. I'm just really happy for these women. They're coming into their own. This is a mature team. This is not. We were talking last year about how this team is just a really scrappy group of players.
Yeah.
And now we're at the point where they don't have to be scrappy. They don't have to be desperate for these plays. They can really make their plays.
Exactly.
And they can really do some damage in their teams. It's just really exciting to see.
Yeah. No, so I'm excited. And I guess that kind of brings us, though, to the next little bit of a recap from,
we're going to be talking men's basketball, who they had a lot to prove heading into the A10 this year. They were at a 4-14 record. Steven Silvestro is going to talk you through what happened over break. Let's see that footage.
This year, with the new recruits and a maturing team, the men headed into winter break with a bang, topping Mercer in a nail-biter in triple overtime. Then it was off to Dayton for their first A10 game of the season. The Explorers could not match up to the #1 Dayton, but marched forward towards a 5-game winning streak. Powell and Price led in scoring these games against Duquesne, George Washington, Rhode Island, and Davidson, notching scores into the high 80s. BJ Johnson has emerged as a clear star, capitalizing scoring opportunities, making huge dunks. Rookie Isaiah Diaz also is making an impression early with 11 points versus Duquesne. Roberts, Stukes, and Schuler, the returning starters of 2016 season, and have made good on the hope of having the squad gel well with the new recruits LaSalle brought in, with the likes of Powell, Johnson, Henry, and newcomers Saul Fury and Isaiah Diaz. #2 Stukes has made plays on his own while averaging 7 points a game. Stukes is the playing force behind the Explorers' success. Stukes leads the Explorers by averaging 3.5 assists per game and has 22 steals on the season. Where do we go from here? LaSalle is facing the rest of the A10 in their conference games coming up. Then can they regain their momentum in these games from their 5-game winning streak? We will see. For SportsLine, I'm Steven Silvestro.
Thank you, Steven. Well, right now, men's basketball is at 11-7. 2 losses in a row from that. But we're not going to talk about either because VCU and Penn were just sad. But our team is also not at their best. BJ Johnson is battling an injury. Powell is out on an injury as well against Penn. And a couple players are sick. Jake, what is happening?
You know what? All I'm seeing is the fact that our team is so dependent on having everybody healthy for a ton of reasons. We genuinely need that triple threat of JP, BJ, and Pookie, because the thing is, you kind of saw that in the UMass or the what was the last game? I'm blanking.
The Penn.
Yeah, the Penn game. In the Penn game, you saw Jordan Price just get absolutely eaten alive by the defense, unable to connect on any of those things. So, I just want to make sure that we're not falling apart at the end of the season. And we're seeing some of these close games just end in a way that's not satisfying. Like just
No.
like it's just like they're not completing.
No, I agree. And it comes back to, I think, something that was a trend last year, was that they never really, they could never complete the games. They would get nervous, they would choke a little bit. You would see these deficits go from, they would be winning by 20 points, and now they're at, they would lose it by 8 points. It was just this crazy thing. And we're seeing kind of a different team happening. It's going to be exciting how we're doing. We're in 5th place right now in the A10 conference.
Yeah.
We'll see how we do. But before we get into break, we do have to acknowledge the fact that a Dunkin' hot coffee on the goal floor somehow managed to make it onto the SportsCenter top 10. Take a look.
Did the hot coffee toe the line? The hot coffee just managed to somehow sink $1 and a dream shot from the half-court line, and we have identified the hot coffee. That is Colin Burns, and the iced coffee happens to be Ryan Burns, his older brother, and I'm glad that he's showing some sibling humility, but somehow that ended up on the SportsLine top 10.
SportsCenter top 10.
Yeah, not the SportsLine top 10.
This was national.
Yeah. So,
but that just about wraps up the past and present for the show. So when we get back from break, we're going to be looking into the future as SportsLine reporter Dana Pecora joins us on desk. Stick around.
My name is Carly. I'm 15 years old and I am a heart recipient. I got my first heart transplant when I was 1.5 years old. I got my second heart when I was 13. When I step out on stage, I think I'm communicating with people. I would like to tell them that I want to make a change in life. Like, yeah, you can have 2 heart transplants, but that doesn't stop you from doing the things that you love. When I get my driver's license, of course I'm going to say yes to be an organ donor because I've been saved twice. So who says I can't save somebody else? It's just the beginning of a new story.
This gift of life was made possible by an organ donor. Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
There is plenty of LaSalle sports action this upcoming week, so we welcome this week's Explorer reporter, Dana Pecora. Hi.
Hi, thanks guys. For this week's Explorer Report, our LaSalle men's basketball team against A10 competitor UMass. UMass will travel to the Tom Goal Arena on Wednesday, February 1st at 7 p.m. LaSalle is currently 11-7 in the season and is hoping to add another conference win, while UMass currently holds a record of 12-9. This will be a tough game for our Explorers as UMass is a fast team with many key players such as Dante Clark and Rashawn Holloway. LaSalle will need top leading scorers Jordan Price and BJ Johnson to be the offensive threats they have proven to be all season long. The key to this game will be for the Explorers to play a very smart yet simple game and capitalize on UMass's turnover weak spot. If they can convert those constant turnovers, they should have no problem being dominant offensively.
dang.
Yeah, this UMass game is going to be big for us. Yes. For the women basketball team, but also for the men's basketball team. It's going to be the home game. Dana, what are you thinking about how this team is going to do?
I think that as long as we step up offensively, because we're a little bit weaker on the defense, but our offensive threats, such as like Jordan Price and BJ Johnson, they're so reliable, hopefully. So hopefully they'll pull through.
Yeah, and I guess talking then about like UMass's turnover weak spot.
Yeah.
How is that going to be, like capitalized on? Is like where are their weaknesses inside that turnover spot?
Yeah, so they're definitely just going to have to pick up on those and convert those because we need points on the board. Because if our defense isn't really that strong, you need to get it somewhere. So you have to just convert those. And if Pookie is hurt, you need people like Cleon Roberts to step up, and he needs to put those points that Pookie would usually put up. So
yeah, and I think we totally saw what happens when we don't have everybody in action, especially after that. So hopefully everybody will be healthy for UMass.
Yes.
Yes, and so thanks, Dana. And with all that wisdom in mind, we have picks of the week, and so Take it, please.
Right.
Please, where's my intro? That is my intro. That's a very good intro. All right, pick number 1. We're talking men's swimming and diving, and possibly a 3rd win in a row against Rowan. And you know what? I have 2 words for you. Fabian Bergman, the Swedish backstroke specialist, has been pivotal in his role in this season. 200 medley relay, 100 back, 200 back, IM medley. And then you got Otala, 53 is untouchable. And then Rowan is also undefeated at the moment. Okay. But they have not touched schools on par with LaSalle. So all I'm going to say to those guys is follow the script, boys. Because the thing is, we got a lot of serious talent that I am genuinely excited for.
And Rowan is a D2 team.
That is a good point. But yeah, so they're racking up those. I don't know. They're 7-0 right now.
Okay.
We've been grinding out there.
Yes.
So yeah. So that brings you to pick number 2, which is a win for women's basketball against George Mason at home, and we are on a streak, baby. And UMass is a tight win at home, or invincible, or at least we'll find out if we are when we take on George Washington a little bit. But George Mason is sitting at 4-5 in the conference, and they're just kind of dilly-dallying around, a low-scoring team. And as soon as Alston shuts down leading scorer Kara White, we should be good, and no one can really stop Amy Griffin. So anyway, I'm hoping for a win. And that brings me to pick number 3, loss for men's tennis at Navy. And to be honest, this just doesn't sound like a good idea for anyone involved. If men's tennis is able to pull off a win, it's going to be like watching the movie Sandlot. There's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of just confusion, and I don't really ever want to see what that is like.
Thank you, Jake.
Yeah.
We'll see how it turns out. That just about wraps it up for us this week. If you can't make it out to see the marquee matchup, be sure to tune in next week for our coverage and keep up with this weekend's other sporting events by visiting goexplorers.com or check out this week's edition of the Collegian.
And so also check us out on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. You're welcome to send us your thoughts and suggestions there.
For Stephen, Helen, and our SportsLine team, I'm Anna Gomez.
And I'm Jake Smolensky. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at the game.